Drake isn't just having a rough week, he's in full-blown damage control. Posts are disappearing, allegations are resurfacing, and old songs are sounding way more sinister than anyone remembers. While the internet obsesses over Tyler's old tweets, the real firestorm has quietly been building under Drake's feet. And what we're about to break down might just change how you see one of the biggest names in music forever. Today, we're peeling back the layers of what may be the worst news of Drake's entire career. This isn't just about ghostwriting or petty beefs. It's about a decade-long pattern of disturbing behavior, suspicious silence, and a fan base that's been playing defense on autopilot. We're connecting the dots from Bella Harris to Millie Bobby Brown, from deleted tweets to dark lyrics. And by the end of this video, one truth becomes crystal clear. Drake's past isn't just catching up to him. It never left. Before we dive in, let's get real. Who do you think has the most skeletons in hip-hop? Drake, Travis Scott, Tyler, or someone else completely? Drop your answer in the comments below and don't hold back, because after this, you might just change your vote. And if you're not subscribed already, now's the time. We go deep every week. Drake built his image on being relatable, the soft-spoken, emotional rap star who made vulnerability cool. But lately, that image has fractured. What fans once called authenticity now looks more like strategy, and the cracks in the mask are showing. It's not one incident, one scandal, or one diss. It's a trail of weird moments, bizarre decisions, and stories that just don't add up. In the midst of a major credibility crisis, Drake did something unexpected. He responded to a random DM out of 142 million followers, writing a senior quote for a fan. Harmless? Maybe, until you realize he chose that DM out of millions. The cringe-worthy bar he wrote wasn't just awkward, it was a reminder of the ghostwriting allegations that still haunt him. Because if that's the best he can do solo, well, no wonder the pen's always in someone else's hand. The internet went after Tyler, the creator, hard over old, edgy tweets. But who led the charge? Drake stans, the same fans who go silent when real red flags show up in their idol's past. It's performative outrage at its worst, rallying around morals only when it's convenient to cancel someone not on Team Ovo. Let's be clear, Tyler addressed his past. He's owned it in interviews, lyrics, and entire albums. He's evolved. Drake's defenders used Tyler as a smokescreen, trying to cancel anyone remotely aligned with Kendrick or Pusha. But all it did was backfire, because when you play dirty, expect the dirt to fly back. Charlemagne, the God called it out in 2009. Drake's energy is strange. That strange energy never disappeared. From sketchy relationships to questionable behavior, the timeline's been shady for years. Bella Harris was 16 when she first got linked to Drake. Kylie Jenner was reportedly underage when rumors sparked. Millie Bobby Brown, 14 and texting Drake. These aren't isolated incidents, they're a pattern. Posts vanish, screenshots disappear, videos go dark. The very content that's raising eyebrows suddenly goes missing, and not by coincidence. It's the oldest trick in PR. Erase the past, deny the narrative, and hope no one asks questions. But people are asking, and the silence speaks volumes. What's more suspicious than a damaging allegation? When the receipts mysteriously disappear. Over the past few weeks, fans and critics alike have noticed something odd. Certain posts, tweets, even archived clips that once called Drake out for questionable behavior are vanishing. Screenshots are going missing. Accounts that once exposed him, gone. Videos that contained damning commentary or evidence, privated, scrubbed, muted. This isn't just old content being cleaned up. This is a digital purge. A full-scale erasure campaign to rewrite the narrative while the rest of the internet argues about Kendrick and Tyler. And here's the thing, you don't delete something unless you know it looks bad. If Drake had nothing to hide, why are the things people remember suddenly untraceable? Because for every deleted tweet, there's a truth someone doesn't want you to see. And if you listen close, the silence, it's screaming. Let's talk music. Drake's track Houston, Atlanta, Vegas was once seen as a smooth, moody anthem. But with everything we now know, those lyrics hit differently. If that song was inspired by reality, even loosely, it paints a very uncomfortable picture. And suddenly, the line between art and autobiography starts to blur. Let's talk about the music, specifically a track that aged like curdled milk. Drake's early hit, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, was once celebrated as a smooth, vibey song about exotic dancers and nightlife, but now it reads like a disturbing journal entry. Listen to the lyrics closely and ask yourself, who is he really talking about? What kind of reality inspired this? Because if those lyrics were drawn from real experiences and knowing what we now know about his associations with much younger women, then that song is no longer a harmless flex. It becomes a red flag wrapped in melody. And here's the chilling part. That was from So Far Gone, at the very start of his mainstream career. Before the ghostwriting scandals, before the public scrutiny, he was already writing things that, in retrospect, raised serious questions about who he was off camera. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. And Houston, Atlanta, Vegas might be the first breadcrumb in a trail that Drake never expected anyone to follow. Listed out: Bella Harris, Kylie Jenner, Millie Bobby Brown, Baka Not Nice, a convicted offender, and longtime OVO associate. It's not cancel culture to ask why these relationships exist. It's accountability. And the fact that so many fans ignore them, that's not loyalty, that's denial. Let's stop pretending this is all new. Drake's controversies aren't the result of cancel culture, beefs, or media smear campaigns. They're the result of years of ignored red flags. And now the internet's finally pulling the receipts. Start with Bella Harris. She was reportedly 16 years old when the world first noticed Drake spending time around her, dining with her, reportedly flying her out, and even shutting down a restaurant for a private night. The optics were disturbing, the age gap even worse. And while no official claims were made, the timing more than enough to raise eyebrows. Then there's Kylie Jenner. Drake's name was linked to her back when she was just 17, still underage, and he was a grown man in his late 20s. Even if you buy the PR spin that they were just friends, it's always the same pattern. Drake then retreats when it becomes a headline, but it gets worse. Let's talk Millie Bobby Brown. Just 14 years old when she publicly told the world that Drake was texting her for boy advice. And while the media gave it a pass because, well, it's Drake, the public didn't forget. Why is a 30-something global superstar texting a teenage actress? There was no explanation then. There's no excuse now. And let's not leave out Baka Not Nice, a longtime OVO affiliate with a very public criminal record. Drake didn't distance himself. He celebrated Baka, called him family, signed him to the label, promoted him like a trophy. What kind of message does that send? One or two of these could have been brushed off, but this many over this long is no longer a coincidence. When Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, it wasn't just a diss, it was a dossier. He didn't invent rumors. He pointed to things people were already whispering. And Drake's response? Weak. Because when the truth gets too close, even the loudest artist runs out of bars. When Kendrick Lamar dropped Not Like Us, it didn't just shake the rap game, it rattled Drake's entire foundation. This wasn't your typical back and forth diss. This was surgical warfare, precision strikes layered with innuendo, barbs, and buried truths that mainstream audiences didn't immediately grasp. And here's what makes it powerful. Kendrick never said the quiet part out loud. He didn't have to. He just pointed the flashlight and the internet did the rest. Every bar in Not Like Us was soaked in innuendo about Drake's reputation, his inner circle, and the uncomfortable whispers that have followed him for years. The song wasn't a reach, it was a reminder that these stories have existed since before the beef. Kendrick simply took what everyone in the industry already knew and turned it into a cultural event. And the result? A record-breaking anthem that turned speculation into consensus. Because here's the truth, They Not Like Us wasn't just a taunt, it was a moral line in the sand. Kendrick was separating the artists who stand on authenticity from those who hide behind marketing, money, and manipulation. And deep down, fans knew exactly who he meant. Drake's response? Weak, defensive, unconvincing. He tried to drown the moment in bravado with subliminals, sarcasm, and denial. But Kendrick's delivery hit harder because it was rooted in what people already suspected. It's why even after the dust settled, Not Like Us became an anthem, while Drake's tracks evaporated in days. Because one was built on artistry, the other on damage control. And let's not pretend the industry didn't notice. Major rappers who once defended Drake suddenly went quiet. Media outlets that once called him untouchable started posting the timelines. the same ones fans were dissecting on Reddit and Twitter. For the first time in years, the narrative wasn't controlled by OVO's PR machine. It was controlled by the culture. Kendrick didn't fabricate the rumors. He didn't invent the accusations. He amplified them, and he knew exactly what would happen when the world connected those dots. Because when you've been playing the perfect guy for over a decade, it only takes one record, one truth that rhymes too well to turn the world's favorite superstar into its biggest question mark. Drake fans love to claim victimhood. He's being targeted. He's misunderstood. But let's be honest, what if he's not? What if the stories, posts, and comments all trace back to who he's always been? Tyler weaponized his past into creative evolution. He made Call Me If You Get Lost. Igor, he evolved. Drake, he hides, deletes, distracts, and somehow still gets painted as the innocent one. Here's the truth. When you play the game of outrage, there's always a bigger fish. And Drake fans playing gotcha with Kendrick, Tyler, or anyone else, you're just adding more eyes to your guy's downfall. You wanted smoke, now it's all eyes on the OVO chimney. So go ahead, deflect, cry victim, pretend none of this is real. But at this point, we've seen enough. Drake's not spiraling, he's sinking. Not because of Kendrick, not because of Tyler, but because he's built a career on hiding things. And now, the mask is slipping. If you made it to this point, drop a comment. Not for clout, just to let me know you see it too, because whether it's ghostwriting senior quotes or dodging red flags, we're not looking away anymore.